Have you ever wondered how babies learn their first words? Or how, when they get older, they are able to tie together a series of words to form sentences? Language has a complex structure made up of rules, syntax, and semantics, which got me thinking. Isn't it quite perplexing how we, human beings, learn such an intricate system?
Salut, je suis Jeuls et j'étudie le français. What about trying to learn a new language? Which method do you think would be the most efficient for fast and easy learning? Do you think I should watch French movies and play French songs non-stop? Or should I go to France and surround myself with native speakers? Ooh, I wonder if Duolingo would be enough to help me speak French fluently and accurately. What do you think?
To solve the enigma of language learning, psychologists and social scientists applied and developed several theories and methodologies. One of them is the behaviorist theory. Of course, behaviorism didn't come into existence just like magic. So first, let's discuss the birth of behaviorism theory.
The behaviorist theory was founded by John Watson. No, not Sherlock's best friend. That's a whole different person. John B. Watson is an American psychologist whose theory continues to prove effective in psychological and educational settings even today. Behaviorist theory is fundamentally a theory in language learning and acquisition, but is actually a psychological theory at its core, as it is modeled after B.F. Skinner's operant conditioning theory. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the behaviorist theory, let's take a little detour and first have a peek at how operant conditioning works. The basic principle of operant conditioning is that actions that are reinforced or rewarded are strengthened and are more likely to be repeated in the future. Actions that result in punishment or unfavorable consequences, on the other hand, will be weakened and are less likely to recur in the future. Say, for example, you had a perfect score on your math test. Your mom is so proud that you went to the mall, shopped for a new dress, and bought an ice cream. Cool, right? So you're kind of pumped up for the next test because you know that if you ace it again, you'll go to the mall, have an ice cream, or maybe have something better than the last time. How does this relate to language acquisition, you ask? For behaviorists, language learning and its development is a matter of conditioning. To put it simply, behaviorist language theory believes that infants learn verbal communication from other human role models through a process involving imitation, rewards, and practice. When a baby utters his first word, like dada, he will be praised and given affection for his effort, right? So he'll most likely say it over and over because he is receiving rewards in the form of praise and affection. Now let's try to put this concept in foreign language learning. The foreign language behavior learner is the organism whose behavior is being conditioned. The behavior is verbal behavior. The stimulus is what is taught or presented in the foreign language. For example, a teacher says, "Repeat after me. Salut, comment ça va?" The response is then the learner's reaction to the stimulus, where they'll repeat what the instructor said. Salut, comment ça va? And the reinforcement is the approval and praise of the teacher and fellow students, as well as self-satisfaction. To dive deeper into the behaviorist theory, let's try to break it down.
The behaviorist approach to language has 5 basic principles. First, the theory primarily deals with spoken language. It's because we learn to speak before we learn how to read and write, making spoken language a priority in language education. Second, language learning is all about habit formation. According to Nelson Brooks, language learning is not problem solving, but the information and performance of habits. Yep, that means language cannot be learned overnight or even over a week. If you want to learn a language, it needs to be a habitual process. It should feel natural and regular to you. I guess that's why Duolingo keeps on notifying you every day. Third, the theory believes that language learning is a result of rewards and punishments, or positive and negative reinforcements. These two are the keys to habit formation. For example, let's imagine an instance where a child named Jed is being taught politeness. Jed asks his mother for ice cream. His mother teaches him to say please and demonstrates a phrase for him to imitate. Jed, say, "Mom, can I have an ice cream, please?" If Jed manages to say please, he gets a reward, the ice cream. By doing so, he will repeat the word please every time he asks for something. However, if Jed didn't say please the first time, he may not get the ice cream and get lectured instead. Well, that may teach him a lesson. Whatever the outcome or the form of reinforcement is, he surely will develop a habit of polite language. Fourth, the theory highlights the stimulus-response chain as a case of conditioning for language learning. According to APA, the stimulus-response chain is a series of responses that each trigger the next stimulus in the sequence. In this linear chain, stimulus 1 leads to response 1, which leads to stimulus 2, that leads to response 2, and so on. In short, each stimulus results in a response, and each response initiates a stimulus. A bit confusing, right? Let's use a past example to explain the chain a bit further. S1, Jed wants an ice cream. R1, Jed asks his mom for ice cream and says, "Mom, can I have an ice cream, please?" S2, Mom hears Jed's statement. R2, Mom says, "Sure dear, great job," and gives him ice cream. S3, Jed hears positive reinforcements. R3, Jed notes those positive reinforcements and will do the R1 again next time until it becomes a habit. Furthermore, in language learning, the chain starts with simple stimuli and responses, then becomes more and more complex. That means an infant may learn simple words and phrases at first. Then, as they grow older and become educated and immersed in society, they may learn certain linguistic rules and how to structure sentences and paragraphs. Fifth and finally, because language learning is socially conditioned, the theory assumes that learning could be the same for everyone if each person's learning conditions are the same. Now that we have tackled the basic principles of the behaviorism theory, we have to understand that it's, well, a theory. No theory is perfect. They could be bound by their limits or miscalculations. Thus, studies and researchers may point out some flaws. Most criticisms of behaviorism are from Noah Chomsky. He argued that behaviorism cannot explain the rapid acquisition of language at an early age, and that language learning doesn't solely depend on reinforcement. Other criticisms state that language learning cannot be the same for everyone because of varying personal backgrounds, and that behaviorism is only applicable for young children's education and even animal experimentation.
So, in a nutshell, language learning for behaviorists is a matter of conditioning by means of imitation, reinforcement, and habit formation. To review more content on the behaviors theory, head on over our website and find more awesome info and examples. Thank you for watching, and we hope you felt awesome learning new things. Au revoir!